We've known about Artifact for an entire year now, so stay tuned as we go over everything we've learned along the way, ending with the recent economy and release date reveals. Hi folks, I'm Divok, and welcome to the Artificers Guild, the home of all things Artifact. Happy anniversary! Today marks 1 year since we knew about Artifact, so I'm going to briefly cover everything to catch you up on anything you might have missed. And then, at the end of the video, we'll take a look at the crazy announcements from the past week, including the Artifact economy and the release date. So, we now know so much about Artifact, but it started pretty poorly. As you can see from the reaction video, most of the people that saw Artifact when it was first announced weren't particularly happy about this. Now, this could have been for a multitude of reasons. You know, they wanted Half-Life 3, it was TI, so there are mainly Dota fans who might not necessarily be the biggest card fans out there. But despite all the negativity, they did create a small buzz, and from that buzz, we've been able to grow into a flourished community now. However, we didn't really see much after that. TI, when the announcement was made, was back in August of last year, this exact date, and then we didn't get anything until March, nothing concrete anyway. So, without further ado, that's where we're going to go to. March. March is when the Artificers Guild really began. We put loads of effort into research, to bring you the channel, and try and make it as professional from the get-go. Fortunately for us, March is also when we got the first playtests. Now, we weren't really expecting these until we got some tweets towards the middle to later part of March. These were the first screenshots we saw of Artifact. Just from this, we were able to piece together so many things, or at least we would have been if they'd given us the chance. Shortly thereafter came the first gameplay videos of Artifact, the very same ones we still use in the background of our videos today. That little pocket of information is all we needed to flourish as a community. From there on, we've had a strong band of people growing every single day, figuring out more and more about Artifact. But don't worry, you haven't missed too much, and anything we did find out, I'm going to try and cover for you in the rest of this video. As a community, we spent the next few months researching and theorising. What we concluded was that we had the first 10 confirmed heroes in Artifact. These were Luna, Zeus, Crystal Maiden, Rix, Lycan, Axe, Solar Khan, Phantom Assassin, Bristleback, and Legion Commander. We also managed to confirm about 10 more heroes from little bits of screenshots, mostly from the little sort of mini-map in the top left corner. I'm not sure whether Valve realised what they were doing when they showed these screenshots and these videos out, but we were actually able to see the entire board worth of heroes, not just what the screenshot was zoomed in on. So from that, like I said, we got about another 10 more unconfirmed heroes. Also, especially from the videos, we learnt the basic mechanics for so many parts of Artifact. This is how we pieced together the game and how we put everything else into context when it came to us in the future months. It was this release which showed us that there were 3 boards to Artifact, there was a secret shop mechanic, we saw the combat, we saw the turn phases, we saw premier cards, we saw the fountain mechanic, which is absolutely revolutionary, and then so much more that wasn't necessarily confirmed, but we got a decent understanding of and been able to piece it together since. If you're interested in learning the basics of the mechanics and how to play Artifact, I'll leave a link to our How to Play for Beginners guide in the card and also in the description below, so go check that out. One article came out just a bit after this, I think it was sort of mid-April. This article suggested we were going to get a closed beta. Now I'm going to get to that later, but just remember that it came from one article, and it was more inferred than actually said that we were going to get such a thing. So, what happened after March and after this April article? Basically nothing. There was a bit of a dry spell. Valve didn't really give us any more information, not that they needed to, that we already had a lot of information to digest. So we used this time to digest that, figure out the things I just said to you, but also some clever clogs decided to look at the US copyright database to see if anything Artifact related had been posted in there. And lo and behold, Valve have introduced over 100 new assets to the US copyright database. These seem to be the names of cards. It was very, very impactful at the time to learn of these 100 cards. Again, I'll put a link in a card if you want to check that video out, but more or less all you need to know is that we found the names of 100 cards. So, by now it was about May, and we were beginning to think, where's our closed beta? This article kind of said we were going to get one. Well, we didn't hear anything back about that closed beta, but what we did get was a second media playtest. That media playtest was also another huge dump of information. So many people got to go to this playtest. I believe Eurogamer went, Rock Paper Shotgun went, even the Yogscast went. I mean, we haven't heard anything from them since, and they weren't supposed to be telling anyone that they went, so maybe they've got some super secret project coming up, but stay tuned for that. Meanwhile, media playtest in May. We got a video interview with Jeep Barnett, one of the lead developers of the game, and Richard Garfield, who, if you don't know, one of the lead designers for Magic the Gathering, and also very, very, very heavily influenced Artifact. Alongside their interview, more gameplay footage, over a turn and a half, which is more than we'd had before, as well as now the ability to compare and contrast old footage with new footage. However, let me just dial back a little bit. The video interview, we didn't just learn about the game itself, they hinted at the economy, they hinted at the mechanics, but what they did tell us about was the story. Artifact, at the beginning, is going to be based around a conflict between the Red Mist Army and Solar Khan, the Bronze Legion, and Tresden, the Legion Commander, as well as Rix as part of the Vul Rebellion. So, if you want some more information about that, go hit up our lore video. Simon did it, he knows everything about it, he's fantastic. Go check it out. So, back to the gameplay footage from the second playtest. Using this, as well as the other videos, and some of the screenshots in between, we managed to piece together one full blue-green deck. This finally allowed us to take a look at maybe how Artifact's going to be played. So we've now got a deck, we know how most of the game's played, then we had a slew of articles, mostly focusing on the TCG economy, but also looking at very interesting things that we haven't even thought to ask, like game modes. What are we going to be playing? The consensus seems to be, yes, there'll be regular, you can just play a casual game against someone. Yes, there'll be a draft mode most likely, but the ranked modes were what really piqued my interest. Valve aren't looking to do a ladder. When was the last time you saw a card game without a ladder in it? Let me ask you a different question. When was the last time you enjoyed a ranked ladder? Well, Valve want to do away with it. In its place, they're looking to do ranked competitions. Who doesn't want to be a part of a competition? That's something that only the privileged professional players get to do. And Valve are trying to roll out an auto competition based thing to everyone. Sadly, after those articles, that was the last we saw of any footage. We haven't seen any more gameplay footage since, so there's been a bit of a long dry spell. During this time, we got our copyright database number up to 200 plus of the 280 cards. I can't stress that enough. We very, very nearly know every single card in the game, or at least the name of it. This dry spell actually lasted for quite some time, but Artifact fans didn't falter. They kept going, they kept learning, kept producing, and then they were rewarded. The dry spell kind of officially ended, or very unofficially ended, when a Dota community member called Xyperenc, who had access to the game, leaked a screenshot of the deck builder. Now, as you might expect, we put a video out for this, it's in the card, you've heard this once or twice at least during this video. However, I will quickly go over what we learned from this. From the deck builder, we saw that you will be able to choose the order of heroes that go out in battle. You will be able to, as you might expect from a deck builder, be able to sort through cards, highlighting ones that you may or may not want. You may also be able to buy and trade directly from the market while in the deck builder. I see a lot of people have been asking if we're going to have a dedicated market. Maybe not a dedicated market, but definitely a dedicated UI to it. Not to mention, you can save and load decks. You can load decks. A pro player can put a deck out and you can load it if you have the right cards. That's what it sounds like. Again, not confirmed, this was a leak, but from what we've inferred and what we figured out, it seems like we can do that. All in all, the deck builder looks fantastic, it looks great, we can have a lot of fun with it, so go and check out that video if you want more information about it. So, in summary, what do we now know? Well, we know all of the cards for about 1.5 decks, we know the names of 200 plus cards, many of which we can piece together from Dota related things to get very close to 280. We know the general mechanics, and how to win the game. We know about lanes, fountains, how the turn system works, the currency, shop, items. We know about many keywords such as condemn, rapid deployment, piercing, taunting. We basically know how to play the game, we just haven't been able to play it yet. We also know the plans for modes. We spoke about the ranked auto tournaments, but also draft, and probably a bit more of a casual mode as well. And we've also learned about most of the deck building. So aside from building your decks and buying your cards, queuing up for a game, and playing to win the game, what else is there? I feel like I could already jump into a game and know how to play, albeit I might have to read 1 or 2 effects. We'll still need plenty of time to master the game. But in this year, we've learned exactly how to play Artifact. We couldn't possibly need to know anything else. Oh, but then last week happened. It started with a huge tweet coming in from a well-known Dota fella. He tweeted, Artifact, releasing November 28th, 2018 on PC, Mac and Linux. priced at $20 USD. That's the release date of Artifact. Out of the blue. Not even from an official Artifact channel or anything. No one saw this coming at all. I mean, we were 12 days out when we guessed 16th of November, but that's not too bad. This places Artifact just before the Steam Winter Sale, and a perfect time to get involved if you want to. You can even get some card packs for Christmas. If you can't wait that long, and you're going to PAX West, don't worry, because in this tweet, they also announced you'd be able to play the game at PAX West between August the 31st and September the 3rd. You can play Artifact later this month. How crazy is that? For those of us not going, and sorry that does include me too, I'd love to cover it for you guys, but I'm going to have to do more of like a reactionary cover, which don't worry, I would definitely do. We should get a plethora of new information from them, including a tournament that Valve are setting up at PAX. Best of luck to anyone taking part. So that's the release date covered, and the PAX covered. What did we miss? Oh yeah, Artifact will cost $20. And not only that, they told you exactly what you will get for $20. Of course, you will get the game. You'll also get 2 54 card base decks. How that's going to plan out is it's probably going to be 5 heroes, 9 item cards for your item deck, and then 40 cards in the base deck. These are likely going to be the green, blue, red, black decks. Again, check out the video. I'm going to leave a link in the description to our overview of the blue-green deck if you want to check that out. It might not be what you get, but it might be. It's worth a look anyway. But on top of this, you'll also get 10 card packs, each with 12 cards in them, including 1 rare, which costs $2 each in-game. That's $20 worth of card packs, on top of the 2 base decks and the game itself. So you're getting 228 cards for $20. That's crazy compared to Artifact's competitors, even the free-to-play ones. And if you're not happy with what you get, it's a trading card game. If you get a rare that you don't want, you can trade that for another rare, not just for 1/4 of what it's worth, in terms of dust. Oh, sorry, did I forget to mention about rares? Rares are the highest quality of card in the game, and you get 1 guaranteed in every single pack. Artifact will only have 3 base rarities: common, uncommon, and rare. Nothing mythical, nothing like that, just rare is the highest. And you get 1 guaranteed in every single 12 pack of cards for $2, which you can then trade if you don't like that rare for another rare out there. So what does this mean for the economy? Well, even if there is a game-breaking card, and Valve are pretty good at balancing, so that's probably not going to happen, but hear me out anyway. Worst case scenario, if there is a game-breaking card, everyone has a brilliant chance of getting it. Not only that, but every time you open a pack, you will have something of value to trade, something of the highest value to trade. And with that being said, Valve have said themselves that rarity will not equal power. They want to make sure that adding rare cards simply just brings a bit of different spice to your deck, might even make it harder to play, but the common and probably uncommon cards are where the true power lies. Artifact is set to be one of the cheapest online card games to date, especially if you want to be competitive. Just part with $20 on November 28th and enjoy a competitive deck from the very first day. Then trade for a different deck on day 2, and by day 9 you'll be completely unstoppable. It's been a fantastic year, and to celebrate that year and the release announcement, we'd like to do a couple of things. Firstly, if you haven't noticed yet, we've updated our look. The official Artificers Guild logo is now live. I hope you like it. Secondly, and very much tied in with this, we're opening the doors to our once private Discord. It is all set up to accept you guys, so please come on in, budding Artificers. Chat with us about the game, about the videos, or anything really. Just behave, please. I'll leave the link for that in the description. Thank you all for watching during this first year of Artifact. And if you've been with us since the very start, I thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. If you'd like to help out a little more, please feel free to like and subscribe, and make sure you click that bell icon to know every time we release a video. If you like this video, and you want to check out some more, then here's our most recent release. And also, here's one that we think you might enjoy, so take a look. I have been Divok of the Artificers Guild, and I will see you next time.